Esteban and Ursula, a happy couple who went on to build a big family. 5 children were born from this marriage: Carmen, Maria, Justa, Saturnina, and Valerio, with the latter being the one who inherited the house in 1953. Shortly after his wedding, the post-war era arrived. Since the young couple didn't have children, both Valerio and his wife were drafted for military service. Valerio served for 18 months and his wife for 6. After that time had passed, they reunited and started a family with their first and only child. Photos, letters, even a will allow us to delve into their story. Finally, we lose track of this family in 1984 when they left their home. Why did they leave everything behind? Why did they leave so many memories behind? They left so hurriedly that they forgot some of their savings. Maybe the house was collapsing on them and they had no choice but to leave it. Countless memories rest forgotten among these cracked walls. It's that garden of the house that we entered through, all the way to here. And we went straight into what used to be the kitchen, where they used to wash and dry the dishes. Right above, look at the washing machine. I'm going to speak quite softly in the video because we're in a very small village and this house is right in the center. So we'll have to be careful. In this part here, we're still far from the street because the street is right at that door over there. And here they had their oven and stoves for cooking. Right under the chimney. The house is quite small, but it has a lot of details all over the place. And structurally, it's in pretty bad shape, as you'll see in a moment. Capsules. There's not much here. Look at all the plates covered in dust. Here they had the table where they probably had breakfast. Quite a kitchen. Small. But well, a village house. I had seen a photo around here. This one here, look. From when? From a soldier or from when he did his military service? Hitler, 1961. And we've already seen the kitchen, which is quite small, and we're going to move on to this part over here. And there they had more dishes stored, even some keys. I thought it would have the name, maybe they're even the house keys. With all their little clothes neatly in place. Even pants, we can see them there at the end. Look at that detail. The shopping cart right here, ready to go shopping. Wow.
Look at this.
Even a box, a cage, sorry. Michelina? It looks like a valve of a bike wheel. Here is some canned food, but it's very rusty. You can't see the expiration date. And down here, they had a small storage room. And over here they had to go up, although the upper part is the part that's in the worst condition. But look, they also had things hanging around here. Here they had the calatos and suits, well, probably jackets. More bird cages. In this part here, look, you can see the kitchen. There's a hole in the floor and the kitchen is propped up, so we won't go through here. We're going to take a look. Let's see. I think this is a radio. Yes, it's an old radio. And this here would be the main entrance. I have to be very careful with that door, because if someone passes by, they'll hear us. As you can see, the ceiling has collapsed, but I haven't tried to go over there, but now we're going to try to go. Because it looks like there's another room over there. Look, if I eat well and sleep well, I'm not sick. Let's try to get through without making too much noise. Look at the calendar, 1984. Let's keep moving forward little by little. Here too, the whole ceiling has collapsed, man. Look at the television. Let's try to cross. Photos. Okay, look, on these medicines I found the expiration date, which is April of 81. There are a lot of memories left from the people who lived here. Look, the wardrobe has fallen down. This way, I don't know if I'll be able to get through. Now let's go back to where we were. But further ahead there are more rooms and there's the dining room, and that's in much better condition than this, so let's go over there. From here you can see the entrance hall better. Look at the wallpaper. Super vintage from the 60s. Alright, and from here we move on to what would be the living room. There are a lot of letters, wedding photos and other things around here, but I don't know why. The bride is also dressed in black. Although she has a white veil, she's dressed in black. I had never seen it before. I don't know if it used to be a tradition for both to dress in black. I remember First Communion. And this? What is it? An old rosary? Oh, it's broken. What a shame. Let's take a look at all this. It must be from my first communion when I took it. And right here, we have a book. I think it's also from the communion. We'll leave it all together. We put this on top so that it preserves a little longer. Chocolates and bonbons, a gift from Zahor. They're covered. Wow, more photos. In the army too? Too bad they don't have the date. Look, this one looks like the boy. He looks like the one we saw before in the kitchen photo. Could these be photos from some vacation they took? Look, yes, probably because we're in Madrid and there's no beach in Madrid, so they probably went on vacation somewhere. This is still the same guy as before. I show them a little like this. In general, the little room. Quite curious with a lot of details. You're going to freak out with what's in this one. I mean, I haven't taken it out yet. I look like this and I don't know if you can see it from there, but there's a wad of bills or... I mean, seriously. It's the first thing that comes out. Let's see if you can see it well. Vive pesetas. From 1949, Franco Codillo of Spain. For the glory of God. Wow. But, let's see. There are a lot of bills, unless they're also letters. Damn. Oh my God, look at what they have. The symbol was used on clothing by the Spanish Falange political party. And bills, oh my God. Oh my God, what has turned up here? I'm freaking out. 1938. 25 pesetas. 100 pesetas, pay. We'll pay the bearer. Put down the bills. I don't know if I'm aiming it right because I'm not looking at the camera. 500 pesetas. They're all beautiful 1940. $949. Wow, how beautiful. 1,000? Pesetas. A car just parked right next to us. Wow. This one is also beautiful. As you can see, there are a lot of bills. Let's leave most of them again, everything in the envelope. Even though there are a lot of bills, this nowadays, at the exchange rate, it's practically nothing. I was still amazed by the bills that showed up in this envelope. But the thing is, here we have a wallet. And look, there are old coins. Well, let's see. 1975, they're pesetas. And there are a few more in there. Incredible. That's crazy. We found that here. Well, now I'm going to show you this part here. I think this is where they would eat and have their family gatherings. Here we have one room, and in the back another one. And look what showed up in the room back here. I left it here to record it. We'll put it back in its place later. Sticker album from 85 and 86. Let's see, I'm not really into soccer to be honest, but I thought it was interesting that it was here. Complete. It's rare to find complete albums like this. Well, I have to say I don't know much about soccer. And this one too, well, this one is missing some stickers. This one is missing quite a few compared to the other one. This one is from 82, 83, and the other one 85, 86, and here. They had a bunch of photos stored that I haven't seen before. Social service. "35 full days. I'll briefly tell you what the social service was. It was the women's section of the army. One of its main tasks was to support the families of the fallen. They were also assigned to social aid centers and hospitals. The most unsettling thing about all this is that they received home training. This section aimed to prepare them as mothers, wives, and homemakers, and they were taught that they should pass these guidelines on to their children. Is this still the same boy as before? And here too. And look here, when he's older, because it's the same one. And I think this is his wife and his son or daughter. And when he served in the army, I think he just did his mandatory military service and didn't serve in the army because we haven't found any clothes or anything like that from the army. Oh, look, swearing the flag. This is Valencia, I think. Yes, it's Valencia. I'm going to look at his wife. And it's the same as the other photo we saw before. As this one. Incredible to find. These details a wind-up watch, a medal, award for diligence. I just found something unbelievable. I don't know if you can see it. In our presence, I declare to the testator that its content is the true expression of her last will, and in witness whereof I sign it together with the witnesses present. The testator witnesses. This is the opening. It's a will opening. Wow, I don't want to show it because I'll have to pixelate it. A bunch of names. Will, it was opened March 16th, 1953. First, the funeral and pious part. First of all, I commend his soul to God who created and redeemed it with precious blood, and his body to the earth from which it was formed. In which state does he want the body to be? Shrouded in clean clothes and buried? In the town cemetery, he clearly states his wishes for her burial location and arrangements in the first part. Debts owed and debts due. He declares that this house, meaning the marriage, is left to his son Valerio, and also the sum of 12,000 pesetas. And since the money doesn't exist, he has to collect it from the assets of the marriage. Okay, did he have more children with someone else? To my son Valerio, I bequeath to him forever his heirs and successors. The era of Pan, next to the road, in other words, he is leaving him land. To my daughter Saturnina, I bequeath to her forever, for her and her heirs, all the clothing of the testator, that is, dresses of all kinds, both inner and outer, as well as footwear. Also consider as my personal clothing all the handkerchiefs of any kind that may exist in the house. The thing about the will is really interesting. I'll leave it open so I may finish it later. I'm going to take pictures of the letters and everything to see if we can get more out of the story. And look at the chair that's here. Beautiful, or you wouldn't expect to find a chair like this in this house, hand-carved. Well, and as you could hear in the will, he left all his clothes to one of his daughters, and notice that, well, I'm not really sure why, but they left it like this here. Even though the intention was for the daughter to keep it. Although there are also men's clothes, but this one here, for example, is a women's jacket, as you can see. This is also a women's shirt. And I think that as a married couple, they both passed away within just a few years of each other. They practically died together. Look at all the clothes. It's pretty curious that your mother wants you to keep her clothes as a memento, and you just leave them behind on the property she owns in her likely birthplace. Although let's remember that it's a very, very small town, and honestly, I don't think there's any way to make a living here. The city is quite distant from here. I mean, their children would probably leave for work, and right now I don't know if they even know what condition their parents' house is in, and about them after all. Look at this here. It looked like a wedding dress. No, the dress is here. I thought I saw a wedding dress, and this is what she would put on her head along with the veil. And here's the dress. This is my second visit, and the dress was in its box the first time I came. Wow, the wedding dress? Since the wedding dress is beautiful, well, not for now, right? But what do I know? I find it strange that your mother left you. As I mentioned, even if I repeat myself, used clothes, and you can't even save them for her. Her wedding dress, which is something she surely kept. With a lot of love. And here it is, within reach of anyone who wants to enter this house. The roof will soon collapse, leaving the house completely destroyed and in ruins. I know. It's hard to imagine that could go through your daughter's mind. And honestly, it makes me really sad. In her final moments as she departs this world, her wishes are for her things to stay and damn, for everything to end like this. And her children didn't do anything, so this wouldn't happen. This is right next to the street. Here they had a water trough or a wash basin. Look, how curious. A sewing machine. Everything is... It's all going to fall apart. Any day now. Another roof will likely collapse next winter during heavy rain. Wow, look at this. A fully wrapped doll with labels mentioning Barcelona and Vizcaya. And completely wrapped up. Cool, look at this. Young fashion. It's brand new, incredible. $325 pesetas. Well then, the truth is I'm leaving this house with a bad taste in my mouth. And it's simply because of how everything ended in this marriage that I surely didn't want to end like this, in complete oblivion. And they've left such personal things, so many letters from the marriage that practically reveal their whole life. Because we've been looking for letters and there are, hundreds. Just look, all of this is what we've taken out in letters. There's a ton. So, hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, like it, and I'll see you next time. See you next time.